There is growing anger tonight on the Hawaiian island of Maui about the lack of any evacuation warning, and that's warnings about the danger fire went unheeded. Emergency services are continuing the grim and difficult task of identifying those who died. At the moment, 99 people are known to have been killed in the firestorm that swept across the island and destroyed the town of Lahaina. Hundreds more are missing. Peter Smith reports from a town cut off by disaster, where people are pleading for help.
There is little left of Lahaina. The fire consumed people's homes. Now toxins have contaminated the water supply of Western Maui. Unsafe to drink it or even to wash with it. There is no electricity, no phone signal, and no sign of life. A whole town incinerated. We find one man on a hill overlooking Lahaina, trying to get enough signal to contact his family.
We really do need help, you know what I mean? The town is gone. The town is gone. I'm heartbroken, bro. I'm heartbroken. Words cannot explain, because I keep hearing of, you know, people I know that I care about is still unattended for, you know. And up to this point right now, if they're not attended, you know, they're not here anymore.
Lloyd was an eyewitness to how this fire started.
And I saw a fire right next to the telephone pole, but the fire department was there. So they put it out, and I guess they contained the fire. And then around 12, I guess 12:30, they noticed that the fire department left. Around 2 o'clock, 2:30, yeah, it started back up again, catching on to the houses. You know, it caught onto the base yard truck, and then that caught on fire. Then it caught onto the house.
What was the wind like at that point?
The wind at that point, the wind was blowing at least 80 miles per hour. It was blowing.
So the fire was spreading
rapidly? The fire was spreading.
This is sad.
Even when the flames were right upon the homes of Lahaina, there was no evacuation warning. The town has 80 sirens, but all remained silent. There is grief here in Lahaina, but there is also anger. People criticising those early warning systems that were supposed to give them time to evacuate. But the fire spread so quickly here that by the time it reached their homes, it was already too late. As the search for bodies continues, a search for answers now begins. The governor of Hawaii has in part blamed global warming.
That level of destruction in a fire hurricane, something new to us in this age of global warming, was the ultimate reason that so many people perished.
We know strong winds were battering West Maui. Telephone poles and power lines did collapse onto the dry grasslands, and a spark quickly escalated into America's deadliest wildfire for over a century. But survivors of the fire have told us this was not a natural disaster, it was a man-made disaster waiting to happen.
This was absolutely preventable. You have fallow sugarcane fields that are dry with no fire breaks, lack of evacuation routes or practice or policies that help us get out. We have infrastructure like power poles that are just wood, and in some places on the highway before this even happened, you could see parts of the power poles that were like rotting, and they'd fall down in like lesser windstorms.
And you want answers now, you want accountability.
I want accountability. It destroyed more than half of the people we know, and just now like we're seeing the pictures of we're seeing the faces, the pictures of the people we lost.
An entire community is gone. The scale of destruction here is horrifying. Now ashes and anger are all that's left in Lahaina.
Well, Peter joins us from Maui now. And Peter, we're talking about an avoidable tragedy.
Yeah, through these eyewitness testimonies we've heard, we're putting together the pieces of how the fire started, but there are still a lot of unanswered whys. First of all, why did the electricity company not cut the power when the power lines were collapsing onto dry grasslands? We're being told from people here they're well used to high winds and they're well used to power cuts in these types of environments to prevent fires from spreading. But why were fire breaks not installed? We know that there was a fire that narrowly missed Lahaina 5 years ago, and they saw how quickly it spread through the dry grasslands from abandoned sugarcane plantations, and there were calls at that point to install fire breaks. And finally, why was the evacuation warning system not sounded to give people a chance to flee? There's a lot of grief. That grief is giving way to this demand for answers because the dead are still being counted, and only 25% of the search area, the burn zone, has been searched so far. And people are saying, well, you know, if we know that this was preventable, we want accountability. We know also today that some of the dead will begin to be identified. Most of those who can be identified are the elderly, people who were unable to leave on time, especially with the lack of prior warning. There are some children among the missing, and there are still several hundred people who are unaccounted for. And the governor of Hawaii is now warning people that they should brace themselves for the number of fatalities to rise sharply in the days and weeks to come.
OK, Peter in Maui for now. Thank you.